everyone. So we'll give a few more minutes for all the participants to join us, yeah? All right, it's 10:35. I think we can start right now. A very good morning to all the speakers and participants. My name is Zero, and I'll be your moderator for today and tomorrow. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to join us today for the second part of Choices Ahead workshop, which is the scholarship sharing sessions, brought to you by Tutors in Action. Just to let you know, we are live streaming this session in our YouTube channel as well, so do check it out by searching Tutors in Action Malaysia. Before starting, I would like to invite one of our co-directors, Zishan, to give some words.
Thank you, Zuru. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here with us today. My name is Jishan, but I'm using Daphne's account, who's our TIA's director. I'm one of the project leads for Choices Ahead together with Farhan, if you know him from our last week workshop 1. I would like to welcome all of you today to the second part of our workshop. The objective of this workshop is to maximize your scholarship opportunities by bringing in top scholars who have received scholarships from different organizations share their experience and answer any questions you may have. Our hope is that you will gain a better understanding of the scholarship opportunities available and have a great time during the workshop. Thank you, and now I will pass it back to Zuru.
All right, thank you, Zishan. Next up, there are some do's and don'ts to be followed while the workshop is ongoing. First of all, mute your microphone throughout the session except for the speakers who will be presenting. And also, if you're comfortable, you can turn on your camera during the session. And feel free to ask questions in our Google Meet chat box or in our YouTube channel chat box. Also, we have a QR code for you to scan. So, yeah. And also, the speakers will answer all your questions after finish presenting. Please ask questions politely and be mindful of your words. And most importantly, enjoy the workshop. So, without wasting time, I would like to start this session by introducing our first speaker. Yeah, you can scan the QR code and ask questions during the session. So, without wasting time, I would like to introduce this is a scholarship bodies that will be introducing the Great Eastern Supremacy Scholarship, IJM Scholarship, YTP Scholarship, and also MNRB. Next slide, please. So this is basically the content that we will be presenting. And so without wasting time, I would like to start the session by introducing our first speaker, Nur Ifa Raihana binti Muhammad Qasim. She will be introducing the Great Eastern Supremacy Scholarship.
All right, so can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so you'll be controlling the slides, right?
Zishan will be doing it.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Nuifarina Kasim, as introduced before. So I think as I have only 15 minutes, we will just go straight into the agenda for today. All right, so this is the eligibility requirements for Great Eastern Supremacy Scholarship. There are two requirements, which is general requirements and academic requirements. All right, so for general requirements, the basic one is basically you have to be a Malaysian, and also you have to be below 22 years old for you to apply. And then the next one is your monthly household income should be 7,000 ringgit and below. And also the last one is local public university for approved courses of study, which means that the applicants should be from the local gain admission or is applying to only local public universities. And for the approved courses of study, you guys can actually share later on. And then the next one is academic requirements. So for academic requirements, the minimum is 3.5 CGPA or its equivalent. So for example, like I'm from foundation and my CGPA was 3.82 CGPA, which means that I'm eligible to apply for the scholarship. Hence why I'm here. And then the next one is active member of sports and extracurricular activities. The next slide, please. All right, so for coverage, Great Eastern Scholarship will cover two things, which is living allowance and academic fee. So for living allowance, we will be given 9,600 ringgit per year, which means that if you split it into two long semesters, so one semester you will receive 4,800 ringgit. So that's for living allowance, living allowance only. And then for academic fee, the maximum is 5,400 ringgit per year. So the same thing, if you split it into two long semesters, for one semester you will receive a maximum of 2,700 ringgit. And then that will be given is based on the invoice, right? So for example, I am a UiTM student, so the invoice I can actually obtain it from our student portal, and then I will give it to my project manager, and she will process it. And if there's any balance, the balance will then be credited into the scholar's account if the scholar is able to maintain a CGPA of 3.75 and above at the end of the year. Meaning that I am currently in my semester 2. So if my result is 3.75 and above, I will receive the amount, the balance. Okay, and then the next one, please. All right, so this is how to apply. So the step, we have 4 steps. Okay, so the first one is submission of application form. You guys can obtain this at the link, the website. And then the second one is group virtual assessment. So for group virtual assessment, meaning that in that session, you will be competing with the shortlisted candidates. And then the next one is virtual interview. This is the final virtual interview. And then the fourth one is award ceremony. If you guys are shortlisted for all of the stages, the last one is you will be invited to attend the award ceremony. And then the next one is the fill in application form. The second one is certified copy of your MyCard and also your recent passport photo. And then the last one is certified certificates. And the last one is the link for the website. However, in my time, I actually just searched for Great Eastern Malaysia Scholarship. So there will be a link at the Google, so you guys can obtain it from there. Next slide, please. Okay. The next slide is about bond. So this is a bonded scholarship. All right, so the period for this scholarship, you'll be bonded for 3 years after you finish your study. And then the next one is for the company served is basically Great Eastern Life Assurance Malaysia Berhad. And other terms is basically about the internship. If you guys are selected to be the you have to serve the internship of minimum 3 years the principal company. Next slide, please. Please. Okay. Follow-up event. The first one is we have 3 main follow-up events. And the first one is Scholarship Leadership Development Program. And then scholars meet up. And the last one is catch-up session. Next slide. Okay, so this is the challenges that I face, and I will it. So the first one is no one to refer to, which basically means that in my family and in my group of friends, there's no one that I can refer to because we got scholarship or know about scholarship. So I overcame it by actually putting myself out there, meaning that I applied, I searched Malaysia, and I asked my lecturers, I asked my friend's friend. So basically, I have to put up myself out there and then ask people. And then the second one is full-time working, because during that particular time when I was shortlisted for the interviews, I was full-time working as well. So I was working as a facilitator with Evolution Enterprise, and it was kind of hard to actually juggle between working and also preparing for the interviews. However, I tried my very best to overcome it with have this might sound cliche, but have a very good time management, meaning that you have to manage your time wisely. And then the third one is limited exposure. So for limited exposure, the same one with the no one to refer to. However, the thing is, I have to the same thing. I have to put up myself out there and then ask people. I cannot be shy basically. So I have to ask people. I have to Google it myself. I have to do it independently. So yeah, that's basically how I overcome limited exposure because I have no one to refer to, right? And then next slide, please. Okay, so these are the things that I wish I knew before applying. So the first one is about extracurricular or leadership experience. Because I have a very limited experience, make such an impact if we join extracurricular or leadership experience. But since I'm here, I really want to tell the audience that make sure that you guys involve your guys in extracurricular or leadership experience because all of the scholarship will actually look at your involvement or if you take up any leadership position. All right, and then the second one is different requirements apply. So again, because I have a very limited exposure about scholarship, um, I didn't know that the scholarship have different requirements. So I wish that I knew that so that I can actually align myself with the company that I'm applying for. So this is the thing that I really wish everyone can take note of, that you always have to align yourself the requirements needed. And then the third one is confidence. The reason why I stated confidence here because most of the scholarship have the group assessment. So meaning that in that particular stage, you actually have to have a lot of confidence because you have to compete with a lot of top individuals, top people as well. So confidence is really, really needed. All right. Okay. The next one, please. All right, so the strategies. These are the strategies that I applied. So the first one is self booster. This is basically you have to boost yourself with confidence so that you can actually believe in your abilities and capabilities. Um, and then the second one is equip yourself with knowledge. This is very important because if you expose yourself with knowledge, um, at the same time you will actually try your very best to expose yourself of matters related to scholarship as well and the company you are applying. This will be very, very important for interview because there will be a question about what do you know about the company. And then the third one is surround yourself with high quality people. And as I stated there, good people will always result in you absorbing their good vibes and aura. So the good vibes and aura actually can be felt by the interviewers if you are in an interview. So it's very, very important for you to surround yourself with high quality people. All right. And then next one, please. Okay. Or Great Eastern Supremacy Scholarship in specifically. All right, so the first one basically, as we know, it will ease our financial burdens because the amount that we receive is sufficient enough for us to actually live with. And well, as since you got a scholarship, it will minimize your debt as well. And then the second one is because it is very, very beneficial with all the bonds and also the programs. So you don't have to worry about where do you want to do your internship, where do you want to get your first job. It's all because you get the placement if you're applying for bonded scholarship. And then the third one is spending, exposure, and network. Because if you got a scholarship, meaning that you will cooperating with the people in the industry as well. So if like that, it will eventually enhance and polish your professional network connections. All right, and then the first actually getting this scholarship, the thing that it impacted my life because right now, I no longer have to worry about financial issues or first job issues as I stated earlier because it's a bonded scholarship. Okay, so that will result in me eventually can only focus on studying only. So that's a triple advantage over there. And then the last one is this is my actually favorite quote. You're so busy doubting yourself by so many others are intimidated by your potential. So for the people who are watching this right now, make sure that you guys polish and enhance your potential and skills so that it will not be wasted. So the next one, okay, I think that's all for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Nor Ifa. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing. So now we'll be having a Q&A session. So we'll see like what's the question from the floors. Okay, we have some question here. First one, how do you how you do to con how how do you consider active in extracurriculum and sports?
Okay, so thank you for the question. So I'm actually in programs. If you have any if you take up any leadership positions. So for me, I don't really active in sports, but I do in extracurricular activities. I have a lot of quite a lot of experience in handling programs and also take up leadership positions. So I believe that is what it's mean. Okay, and then yeah.
Yeah. And also another question is, what are the type of extracurriculum? Is it like involve arts?
Okay, art. I believe that everything that you actually join will actually enhance your skills, especially when it comes to your soft skills. So if you do art, I believe that the interviewers will know like are you eligible for it or not. So I would prefer to actually leave it like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I
Right.
hope that answered your question. And also another question is you just mentioned about group virtual assessment and what you actually done in that assessment.
Okay, so for group visual assessment for my scholarship, um, as far as I can remember, we will be given like tasks, and then we have to work in groups as well. So meaning that during that particular time, the thing that you have to do is do the task given, and also they will see your confidence, they will see your teamwork, they will see your leadership skills as well. Um, and yeah, maybe we can give some of the examples of events. Yeah, so they will be give a task. So that's the
Like
events mostly.
what is
Yeah,
the task?
the task. Oh my God, I can't seem to remember. It's basically about your critical thinking skills. They will give like a problem, and you will provide solutions to it. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And just now you mentioned about you need to maintain for the scholarship is 3.75. Is that GPA or CGPA?
That one is CGPA. That one is CGPA if you want to claim the balance of your academic fee. But during the long run, you actually have to maintain at least 3.2 GPA, I believe. Yeah. So 3.75 is actually if you want to claim the balance of the scholarship academic fee.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, and another question is, what are the interview questions like? Can you give some examples?
The interview questions are like basically they want to know your strength and weaknesses, and as far as I can remember, they actually asked me why because I'm currently doing my bachelor degree in human resource management, and I went from foundation in law to human resource management. So they actually asked me questions like why do I change my path like that. So basically they just want to know who you are and what do you know about yourself, something like that. Yeah.
Mm, I see. Okay, another last question. Do you need to have result for minimum one SEM in order to apply for this scholarship?
Sorry.
Uh, I'll repeat the question. Do
Okay,
you
okay,
need
okay.
to do you need to have result for minimum one SEM to apply for the scholarship?
Actually, in my case, I applied using. Firstly, I actually applied um, for the scholarship using my semester one, um, for my semester one foundation result. Okay, and then after that, they will actually, if you are shortlisted, as far as I can remember, they will actually ask you for your for your final examination result. Yeah, that one. So meaning that
Mm.
I believe that you actually have to result minimum one sem. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So you mean
Yeah.
have to maintain the result and then they will
Yes.
ask for the
So
most recent one.
yeah, because the minimum, so make sure that your minimum CGPA is 3.5 as the academic.
Okay. Is there a specific subject or course Great Eastern provided scholarship or any subject is allowed?
Okay, for this one, as I said in my presentation earlier, there's approved courses of study. You can actually get on their website. Okay, you guys can just search Great Eastern. I mean, like in my case, in the past, I used to search Great Eastern Malaysia Scholarship. So there, from there, they will actually have a link for you to actually get the approved courses of study.
Oh, the link is within our slides, right?
And also, if for specific, yeah, yeah. Actually, for the subject, for the course, they're stated in the website. So you guys can go to the
Mm,
website and check it out.
okay. Thank you so much. I think there's no more question for now. Thank you, Nor Ifa, for sharing. And
Okay, thank
for
you.
now, so we'll be welcoming our second speaker from IJM Scholarship, Sheikh Asli bin Sheikh Putra. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Said Azli, and I am from UTM, studying mechanical engineering. Next slide. So, for the eligibility requirements, there are two. The first one is general requirements, which you have to enroll in reputable education institution uh, to pursue a full-time first bachelor degree study in local public and or private university. And then you have to be active in sports and co-curricular activities. And the last one, you have to serve the IJM group for a specific period upon your graduation. And the second one, for the academic requirements, you have to get at least 2 A's or 3.0 in STPM. And for the SPN, you have to obtain at least 5 A's. And for those candidates who are currently pursuing bachelor degree, you have to obtain at least CGPA of 3.0 in your latest semester lah. So for the local public university, they will cover you for 13,000 per year. So which means that for every semester you will get 6,500. So it is including your academic fees. They will give you 6,500 to you, and then you have to pay to the university by yourself lah. As well as the same for the private university, you will get uh, 22,500 per year, and for one semester you will get 11,250, and you have to pay the academic fees by yourself. They will bring in money to you lah. Okay, next. So how to apply? So the first one, you have to go to the website. So the website is shown in the slides, or you can Google the IJM Corporation Berhad. Then in the website, you can look at the career. Under the career, there is a scholarship, the IJM Scholarship, and then you can fill out the form as requested lah. So what you need to fill is you have to give the identity card, your results, and as well as your payslip of parents lah. So if you pass, you have to answer the English, math, and your personality test. And then if you pass again, there will be an interview will be done, which is individually and by grouping lah. So by grouping, it will give you a topic, then you have to discuss with your group mates, and then you have to present to the interviewer lah. And the last one, after you have done with the interview, you have to write, you have to write about 200 until 500 words about why you should be chosen as a scholar. Okay, next. So for the bond period, the bond period will be equal to the scholarship period. And you have to serve the IJM group after your graduation. But there are 4 divisions that you will assign you. You cannot choose; they will choose for you. So after you receive, if you are selected as their scholar, you have to look at the agreement, which company they will assign you. For the construction, it is IJM Construction, IJMC. For industry, it is under Industrial Concrete Products. And then for the property, will be IJM Land, and infrastructure will be Kuantan Port, and also the toll. But I believe many of the scholars will go to the construction or industry. For mine, I am under the industry, under Industrial Concrete Products. So the other terms are scholars are required to do internship at IJM during your long semester break and by university requirement. So the allowance will be given lah. So the allowance is quite okay lah. It is just a little bit below under the minimum wage. Okay, next. So the things that I wish I knew before applying. So the first one is bond period. So I need to know how long that I need to serve for the company. For myself, the bond period is equal to scholarship period plus 1 year. So for now, they have changed it to bond period equal to scholarship period. So for mine, I have to serve the company for 5 years. So it is quite long lah, but it depends on you. Either you want to accept or not. So the second one is division after you graduating. So there are 4 divisions, which I mentioned earlier: construction, industry, property, and also infrastructure. So you have to look at the agreement, back at the agreement, and then look at which company you are assigned for. So after you look at the company that you will serve, you need to Google lah, is it under construction or industry, property, or infrastructure. But I believe there are more to construction and industry. Next. So this will be the strategies lah. So the first one is be prepared. So look at the internet about hot topics and the frequent questions asked by interviewer. So for mine, the hot topics that we will need to discuss about, we have to help like one cafe to boost their sales during the COVID-19. So they ask like what should we do and so on lah. So you have to look at what the hot topics are going on right now. Because I was interviewed during the COVID-19, so I believe during the COVID-19 there are many people struggling to do their business lah. Next one is focus on the strength. So the scholarship often require you to write an essay or provide a personal statement. So use the opportunity to highlight your strengths and achievements, and you have to explain why you are deserving candidate for the scholarship. Okay, next. So and also be authentic. Be true to yourself and to them, because if you are lying about yourself, they will know. Let's say you say that you are good in leadership skills and also communication skills, but it turns out that you don't even have the experience in leadership skills. So for mine, I can say that I'm not that good in leadership skills, but I have the leadership skills because when in the secondary school, I was the vice president of prefects, and in the foundation, I was the floor leader in my college. And now I am the president of one club in my university lah. So next one is the last one is apply to as many scholarship as possible because you do not know that which one scholar that will give you the scholarship. So the more you apply, the higher your chances of getting one. So don't be discouraged if you don't get selected for some, but keep applying. You might have the higher chances to get one. Next. So why you should apply? The first one is you will get a stable job right after your graduations. So you don't have to think about what is your first job gonna be. And when you go to the internship, you will learn many things. You know which department that available for you to go. And you can also talk with the sorry. And you also can talk with the HR there if you're interested in any department that available in the company lah. Let's say you go to industry, there are I think there are 4 majors, which is QA/QC, production, sales, and the last one is maintenance lah. So if you are interested in any of them, you can talk to the HR and say that you are interested in that department lah. And for the second one, you may ease your parents' burden lah. So and the amount of allowance given to us is quite huge actually. So for the local public, I don't know if the private university how, but for the local public university, it is okay lah, better than GPA and also Amara. So how does it impact my life? Actually, I can look forward and planning for my future earlier than my friends, because when I go to the internship, I know how they work, how the culture is, how the environment is. So when I finish my internship during my second year, so I have already planned what I want to join, what I want to go, which department I want to go. Next. Okay. So this Q&A session now.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Shit Asli. Now we have Q&A session. Is IGCSE eligible for IJM Scholarship?
IGSE is for the overseas, right? If I'm not mistaken, is it?
It's from international school.
I'm not quite sure actually. For what I know, IGSE is for students to go to the overseas, if I'm not mistaken lah. But then, from what I know, they only accept SPN, STPN, and also foundation. I'm not sure for the IGSE. And is there any age limit? I think it is 20, 23, might be 23, I think. But they don't give any specific age limit. How does the English
How does
maths
task look like?
I don't quite remember lah, but the English is they will give like multiple choice question, like objective also, and you have to answer lah. For the maths, you have to calculate lah. So actually, the English and maths, you can look at the Google. You can try to answer them. Maths is more like to you can search in Google. I don't quite remember, but you have to practice in before you answer the English and math test. In the division, sorry.
So I think the next question is, how is what is the industry division about? Can you elaborate more?
So under industry division, the main company is industrial chemical products. So under the industrial chemical products, there are many company more. The parent, of course, IJM, but under IJM there is industry. So the one who are handling industry is industrial chemical products, and then there are IJM IDS under industry also, and then we have rock products, and then mineral, sand, mining, so many company lah under the industry division. For IJM ABS, there are more to design actually, but most of the industry division is for in factory lah. Yes,
Okay,
in
I see.
factory.
And another question, IJM Solar can apply for abroad study.
For now, they only give scholarship for those in the local or private university in Malaysia, not for the not for overseas.
Okay. Uh, do the CGPA need to maintain is same as the minimum requirement 3.0?
Um, as stated in the agreement, they said that only GPA for every semester, you have to maintain your GPA at least 3.0. There's no, they are not mentioning about CGPA. But I believe for CGPA, you have to be above than 3.0 lah. And also in IJM, they are very open. They are really love if you always join any activities in your university, which will develop your skills, especially your communication skills and also the leadership skills. And they will encourage you to do so. And as for me, of course, I have to focus on my study, but then also I develop my leadership skills and also my communication skills in university. And they would really love, they will always asking about how we are doing in universities and what do you join? Do you join any society? Do you join any club? And they would really love to hear about that.
Okay. And the last question, how long will us be bonded after graduated?
So it depends on that year lah. So for mine, the bond period is equal to scholarship period plus 1 year. So which means that for me, the bond period is 4 years. So plus 1 year means that I have 5 years of bonded with them. But as for now, they have changed it, which bond period is equal to scholarship period. So let's say you are applying for the scholarship on your first year, and then you get the scholarship on the second year, which means that they give the scholarship for 3 years. So means that you will be bonded with them for 2 years lah. Depends on your how many years they give the scholarship.
I see. Okay, I think there's no more question for now. Thank you, Shed Asli, for sharing. And
Okay,
for all the participants, don't worry if you miss any opportunity for asking question, as we'll have a final Q&A session towards the end of the session. So without further ado, let us welcome the next speaker from Mara Young Talent Development Program, YTP, who is Mohammad Fatul Fahmi bin Mohammad Nizam. We'll pass the mic to him.
Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Fatul Fahmi. I am 22 years old and currently studying at Unitan as a software engineering bachelor's of computer science student. So, today we are going to talk about Mara Young Talent Development Program. That is also PBU, which is Pinjaman Boleh Ubah Mara. And I can also assure you that this is similar to JPA scholarship, which is for non-Bumi Putra. So next slide. So the general requirements, the applicants should be B40 or M40 people, which is below 10,000 ringgit household income. And also the applicant should be 18 years old, but there's an exemption. And the applicant and also one of the parents must be Bumi Putra. However, for JPA scholarship, it is for non-Bumi Putra. And the academic requirements, the student must excel in SPM. Average requirement is 8 A's, but 6 A's can also have opportunities for this scholarship. And the applicants must answer MSAP, Mara Student Assessment Program, and also have excellent co-curriculum achievement. Next slide, please. So I will be splitting this scholarship into local and also abroad, because for local it is called Pinjaman Boleh Ubah Mara, and for abroad it is called Mara Young Talent Development Program, or nowadays it is called TESP. So for local coverage, it is covered for tuition fees and also allowance. So tuition fees, all of the tuition fees, for example, my course cost me around 57,000 ringgit for my bachelor's degree, and all of it is paid under MARA. And I receive an allowance of 800 ringgit per month. So next slide, please. And I was also abroad. So visa is handled by MARA, and flight ticket is also sponsored by MARA, but only for departure ticket and also return ticket. Next slide, please. For abroad, I was in Germany for 1 year, and the allowance is 900 euro per month. Next slide, please. So the steps to apply this scholarship. First, you go to website, which is mara.gov.my, and there is an education section which have a list of scholarships for diploma, degree, and also SPM students. And then you read the FAQ because there is important informations, and you note the due date and fill out the digital form, submit the required documents through the website, and then you check on your application results, because this is where MARA decides whether you pass to go to interview or not. And then go to the interview, and the interview will be handled in 2 sessions, which is group sessions and also individual sessions. And after the interview, around 2 weeks or 1 month, check the application results if you pass the test or not. So the required documents is SPM slip. This is for SPM students, but PBU can also be applied for diploma and also degree students anytime. So you can use your semester 1 results or any latest semester. And payment slip of your parents, and also you need to fill out form by MARA. So next slide, please. So Bond, this is where it is a little bit special than other scholarships. The periods covered are your years of studies. For example, I study for Bachelor's of Computer Science. It is 3 years of studies. But for engineering students, that is 4 years of studies. And company serve, for MARA, there is no company that you need to serve. This is good because when you are not tied down to a company and you work for 3 to 5 years and you got promotional offer from other company, you can transfer to other company. And you have to maintain your CGPA of 3.0, but the minimum requirement for application is 2.5 for diploma and degree students. Next slide, please. So even though all of it sounds beneficial, it is not a full scholarship. Only for abroad students, the pre-university program, which costs around 10,000 ringgit, all of it is paid under MARA. And for your bachelor's degree, for example, I request for a loan from MARA of 300,000 ringgit for my abroad studies. I need to pay MARA back around 10 to 15%, depends on my CGPA. That means 30,000 ringgit for my abroad studies. But for local, there is no exemption. You must pay 15 to 20% of your loan, which is quite small for the amount, because for local studies, you only make loans around 50,000 to 70,000. So you need to pay only 15 to 20% of it. Next slide, please. So the challenges I faced and I've overcome. The decision to study local or abroad I was studying abroad at Germany. I did my A levels and I passed it, and also studied in Germany. I passed the exam language test, and also started my semester 1 of automotive engineering. But then I've decided to return to Malaysia because I know that I could bring out the values of me more at Malaysia. So I continue my studies at Uniten, and still under Mara. It is renegotiated. And work-life balance, because when you have received scholarships, there is not much to think about money. So it is yourself to depends on yourself to maintain your studies. And also having good friends is beneficial at any point of your lifetime. Next slide, please. So things that I wish I knew before applying. So learn more about interviews and interview questions, the dress codes, the questions that you are going to be going through, and also the process. This can be found on blogs, reading blogs, and also YouTube videos. And research more of your study course, because this will be asked during your interviews. For example, if you would like to continue studies on computer science, research for computer science. If you want to continue studies for engineering, research for that particular subjects. And plan your events, because this is a multi-step process. So you have to set a reminder on your phone or your laptop, and do not miss out any of the deadlines. Next slide, please. So the strategies are the same as before. Schedule your events. This is applicable during your studies and also your career. Schedule your events, set reminders on your phones, and also research about upcoming events. So we have come to the end. So why you should apply for a scholarship, any type of scholarship, because scholarships are contracts. They are negotiable. If you are not satisfied with the terms and conditions, you can ask them to change a bit of it. For example, I changed my contract from studying abroad to studying local. And it can also be part of your goal, because maintaining CGPA is a must if you're a scholarship student. And because of this whole experience, I grow myself as a person and also as a student. So there's a bit of typo. For me, mistake is the best teacher. So that's all from me.
All right, thank you, Fatul Fahmi, for your sharing. So now we'll have Q&A session. Let's see if there's any questions from the ground. Is
Is Mara
Mara
waiting?
YT only eligible for MRSM student or can be applied by SPP student?
Even though it is under Mara, it is eligible to anyone, any Bumi Putra. And also, as I have said before, this terms and conditions and benefits is similar to JPA. For if any of you non-Bumi Putra want to apply Mara, but you cannot, so look for JPA scholarship. It is the same in terms of benefits and requirements.
Oh, I see. Um, there's no more question. Maybe a question from me. Like how do you renegotiate the agreement?
So first of all, I emailed Mara, and then the officer will call or email you back and ask why do you want to renegotiate and what you want to actually negotiate with. So I've list down all of it formally on a document, and I made a somewhat of a proposal to renegotiate my contract, because the reasons why I want to return to Malaysia and all. And I emailed him, and he called me, and we have a discussion about 1 hour or so. and he emailed me back the official documents and steps I need to take, and I filled out the form and take the steps and returned back to Malaysia.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much for your sharing. So for now, we'll be moving on to our last speaker.
Hello, can you hear me? Right.
Yes, yes, we can hear you. So
Yeah.
let us
Sorry.
welcome Ida Fatini from Malaysian
MNRB.
National Reinsurance Berhad MNRB Scholarship Fund.
Okay. All right. So thank you, MC. I'm actually having a class, so I'll try to make it short as possible. And if you have any question, I can address them separately. Okay, let's move on. I'm not going to elaborate every slide, but I'll try to share the most important things as a student, like what are the things that I would have wanted to know at your age. So next slide. Okay, so the title would be How to Be More Appealing to the Recruiters. Next. Okay. Okay, the golden rule, there are three I personally believe. The first is try to avoid deceiving the interviewers. Just be authentic. And yeah, that's simply the first golden rule. The second is over prepared is better than under prepared, regardless of your friends saying like, why are you printing out or having many copies of your sit, etc. It's okay because sometimes you need to hand the copies, for example, the copies of SITs to the people, to the to the pegawai there. So it's better to be over prepared of things. The who is the board of the directors of the companies, etc. And the third golden rule is do not be afraid to be a bit different. If let's say your English is currently not good and you're trying to um, practice speaking English and you mix up Malay and English and your friend saying like, you tak tahu cakap English, tak payah cakap. It's very wrong and rude for them in the first place. I believe that you have to practice and surround yourself with a good circle that encourage you to practice good habit, trying to speak English, trying to be confident. Those who are demotivated, it's best to put a distance between them. So these are the three golden rules that not only to prepare for your scholarship, but also when you enter university. So next slide. Okay, so these are actually, this is a triangle, but I couldn't find the triangle thing. So yeah, the base, I believe the first thing that you have to check on yourself is your attitude with your God, your Lord, that your attitude with your own self, and the attitude with people among you. So these, the base, you must really reflect on yourself before you judge others. The next, the green one, is how you portray yourself um, through LinkedIn and social medias. So why LinkedIn especially is that before you go into the interview, some interviewer might research on you. So they type on your name, or also that sometimes the resume you may attach your social medias or LinkedIn, right? So they want to understand and see you first before actually the interview. So it's best for you to portray. So back to the golden rule number one is do not try to deceive. So you are not trying to deceive if you have fixed your attitude. So if you fix yourself, you're not deceiving anyone. So that's the way you show things is the way you are. Okay. The blue one is the resume. So the resume and the LinkedIn is pretty the same thing. LinkedIn is like the virtual resume, while the resume, the blue color, is mostly on papers like you give out, you print it. Okay, and the top one is actually the stage, the interviewing stage and recruiting stage. So this triangle thing is I personally believe is you have first you prepare yourself, your attitude, then you go one step, your LinkedIn, social media, your resume, and next, the final stage will be your interviews. Okay, next slide. All right, so I would like to touch on this attitude first. The first one is to always include God in the equation. So um, we are always thinking on, like, how you say, oh, I need to get straight A's, I need to get A plus. My A plus isn't enough to apply. I personally am not an straight A student. I got a B for chemistry, and I don't have an A plus. But Alhamdulillah, I managed to get 2 scholarships, the MNRB that you have seen earlier at the front cover, and also Johor Corporation. So I was told that my position would be impossible to get scholarships, but when you put God in the equation of your success, it eventually helps you, and things that do not turn out will make sense, and the things that sometimes the door suddenly open for you, and it's the right way for you to go. So yeah, the attitude with God is really important, regardless of your religion, in Islam or Buddhism, Hinduism, or even Christianity. Please put God first in your equation of life. And yep. So next slide is next another one. That's just okay. So I would like to touch a bit on LinkedIn, on how you can, although you're currently SPM, right? But eventually the next year you'll be going to foundation matrix or even first year student. So this is a bit of trick and tips for you to start small, one step at a time, or even you can start now, or even like after you've entered matrix. So next slide. All right. And this one, I think I'm just going to go through. But if let's say this isn't recorded or anything, if you would like to see examples, you can always go to my LinkedIn. I've learned from someone also. You just type my full name and you can see my page. So this is how you make yourself appealing to the recruiters or your interviewers. So at the featured site, right? Also, this one is a bit of Malay because I presented to a group of people who are prefer to use Malay better. So these are examples of certificates. So currently people always use e-search, right? So you can always post it um, at the featured. So at the moment they click on your profile, then you can see, oh, this person has been involved in, for example, in UNICEF, etc. And they can only read your views on certain things to understand you better. So, yep, highly encouraged to attach sigil, photos, or anything that support your sharing to make that, oh, this person is true. I mean, like, tak fake lah, you know. Maksudnya, if you tak pergi the UNICEF, tiba-tiba you post something macam a bit questionable, right? So we would like to avoid that. Okay, next slide. All right. Anything experience. Okay. This is the example lah. By experience kan, contoh when you are SPM, right? Even if you're not pengawas, what you call that, prefect, because I'm also not a prefect. Even if you're not a prefect, but you have been involved in something in club activities, you may also put that as your experience. Do not feel very small. Oh, I'm only an AGK. I'm not the head of program, etc. But you can always show that that is your experience, and you can always share what have you done and gained as your AGK. All right? Oh, ada orang dah kasi link in. Okay. All right. Yeah. Next slide. Okay, so experience and volunteering. I personally myself, I'm not sure how to differentiate the experience side of volunteering. But what I can say is that the volunteering side, when you go to LinkedIn, it was always at the bottom. But at the upper one, you nak tunjuk yang mana utama you nak people read for you. But you can always rearrange those and under volunteering. There is no right or wrong. I've never seen buku yang cakap, okay, this is the thing that you need to put in LinkedIn, this is the wrong things. I do not nampak apa orang panggil the Bible for LinkedIn, you know. So anything that can best show to people and can best describe you, you can always rearrange at your page and put details that can help support. Okay, next slide. Yep. Subject courses is subjects you can put if you're on matrix can if you want to put how much you get A plus or A or B plus, it's highly recommend not to put the lowest subject lah. Try to put those that are important. If you're applying for accounting companies to sponsor you for account, you make sure that your account should be A lah. So then you put A beside that. Okay, next. Yep. So LinkedIn is a virtual resume. So let's try to quickly see the resume. Okay, this I have received this when I went for a scholarship sharing. So I'll try. This is not mine. So I'm just sharing what I've received. So this is what they call the most preferred resume and how it should look like that. It has quite a good gap between content. It isn't too packed and it isn't too wordy. Yeah. So this is the recommended. Okay, next slide. Okay, and also if you notice there are not many colors lah. Janganlah macam colorful like rainbow. So it isn't encouraged like that. Okay. So this one is the education. So you put the most recent education above and go down like that. And put the subject and modules that are relevant. Kan macam I cakap, if you're applying for accounting, bodies to sponsor you, put lah account there so that they can see, oh, this person have a A plus account, something like that. Okay, next slide. Yep, leadership and achievement. This is example. Like I've said earlier, if you ambil AJK je, it's not AJK je, you know. I personally value my effort and my time on being an AJK because I've learned so much, because you actually do things and you can broadcast it here also. Okay, next. Yep. When you're doing resume, I think you can also find online. These are the examples of word, the right keyword of using it, because sometimes when there are too many applicants, they put the resume under one machine, so that machine or the AI can just quickly scan and filter, depends on the word, the keyword. So that is what I heard lah. But there are also companies that recruiters slowly read through. But some companies that are multinational couple, there are too many applicants. Sometimes they just give the AI or the machine to scan quickly through and filter those applicants. So these are example of keywords to use. I think I've also included. Okay, next slide. Yep, these are example. I think, yeah, you can always see or screenshot this. Okay. And yep, can you go to next slide? Sorry, I'm rushing because of class. Okay, examples again. Next. Okay, so interview, I'll quickly go through. Like, what do you do during the interview? Okay, first of all, make it as a conversation. They are trying to get to know you. You don't feel very intimidated. Just try to make as a smart, casual. I mean, not too casual as friends, but casual, professional casual. Can I call it that? Yeah. And second one is listen first. Do not rush to answer. Sometimes when you're too overwhelmed, you get, oh, I've already drafted this answer out, so I'll just spit it out. So, but first try to listen, because sometimes the question might not be the one that in your mind. So you need to make adjustment in your answer. And that is admit in the best manner if you do not know answer. So back to the golden rule, kan. You do not try to be fake, or do not try to deceive the interviewer. If let's say the interviewer asks you, okay, do you know who is the current financial officer, the chief financial officer? But if you do not know, you just say, I'm sorry, I'll look at it after this interview and let you know. Like some reply that is appropriate and admit that you do not know. Okay, fourth, do you have any question? Yes, if let's say at the end of interview, they ask you if you have any question, please prepare beforehand. That shows that you have interest in them. Okay. Fifth, do not state your weakness. Yes, do not state, okay, I'm too lazy to wake up, so I can't go to the office at 8. Do not say that unless they ask. Okay. Six, portray teachable attitude. Yes, we do not want people who are cocky, who are arrogant. Like, yes, I know you have straight A plus compared to the other candidate who might have 1B, but I personally believe that 1B have much better attitude than you. You know? Okay. And seven, send an email. Like after interview, you send an email to the HR saying thank you to them. Okay, because you send the use the same email address that you have sent the resume. Okay. Next, I think it's habiskan. Yep. Thank you. Okay, I'm on time. So I can attend one question at the moment because I'm currently having class. If you have any question, what do you think? Tak apa, I bacakan untuk you cepat sikit. What do you think is the hard part during the scholarship process? Okay, my scholarship process required me to write an essay. So within a limited word. So the hard part is how am I going to be authentic in my essay, not too draggy, while putting the right information. And that takes practice. Uh, that takes practice. You can let your teacher to read, to give comment. Not only one teacher, you can have several teachers and even your friends, and take their feedback and to reflect. Okay, how good is my essay? Okay. Next, why do you choose? My teacher shared the scholarship, any scholarship that come in, she shared to us all. And I happened to see the MNRB scholarship, and I do not like sciences. I just want to learn science, but I do not want to be involved in science. And there's this course called risk management and insurance, so I'm interested in that area. So while I apply, I actually macam doa lah to Tuhan, if this is not the best for me when I graduated, if I do not seem to like it or anything, just please push this away. And I can see right now my dua is getting fulfilled because somehow I like what I'm doing right now. So that's another blessing. So that's why please put God in your equation to success. Anything, just ask him back. Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, even between classes. Yeah, I think you can leave
Can I
now.
go back? Oh yeah. If
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
any
sure.
question, can separately. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you for the sharing, and now we'll be moving on to the final Q&A session. If any of you have any questions, you can just drop down in our chat box or in our Slido. Are there any questions from the floor? Okay, there's one question here. Will we get the chance to choose our course or the scholarship will offer them to us? Which speakers would like to share about this?
You can share it
Fatul
if there's
Fahmi.
no one. So for your scholarships subjects, when you fill out the form, there will be a field to select what subject field that you want. And when you have received your scholarship, before you receive your scholarship, you can specifically decide what subjects that you want, and you enter the university with that subject under your scholarship. So that's for me, but I don't know if it's applicable to every scholarships.
Thank you for sharing. Do any other speakers want to share about your experience? If there's no, then let us move on to the next question. What is the hardest part during the process? Um, Maybe Shed Asli, do you want to share about your experience on what is the challenges that you face? Or Nor Ifa, would you like to share about?
Juggle between working full time and also preparing for the interviews, and also the other one is during the group visual assessment, because when you're surrounded by the top individuals, top people, your confidence, like for me, my confidence kind of like go down, um, but yeah, you have to actually believe in your abilities and capabilities lah, basically. So I think for me that is the hardest part during the process.
All right, thank you. Do Fatul Fahmi, do you have any opinions about do you want to share what is the hardest part?
For me, for any process, the hardest part is the documentation process. So you need to prepare your documents, and when there's missing documents, they will ask for it, and you have to prepare it in a short span of time. So uh, documentation is very meticulous. So that's for me the hardest part.
All right, thank you so much. So normally when the scholarship will start the application window, like all of the speakers share about this one. Could we start from Nor Ifa? When will the scholarship start the application?
Actually, right now, for my scholarship, Great Eastern Supremacy Scholarship, I don't think they opened it yet. But usually for scholarship, they will open the application near um, the admission for UPU. So usually, I think that's how it is. Yeah.
All right. Do Shed Asli want to share when will IJM scholarship start the application?
Usually they open at the middle of the year, but you have to always look at the website, IJM Corporation website. Usually on the middle of the year, on the May of, or on the June or July, or it can be earlier than that.
Oh, okay, I see. And how about Fatul Fahmi?
I'm not too sure about current schedule of SPM because it's a bit different from mine. But it is usually 2 or 3 months after the SPM results announcement.
Okay, thank you. And what about the last? Oh, Ida has left. Okay, so let us move on to the next question. How to face the negative emotion of filling the application? Um, but I think for here, all of them passed the application. Yeah, so anybody want to share some of your advice?
Can I share mine?
Can
Yeah,
I?
sure.
Can
Uh,
I? Okay.
so please do.
Okay. Okay. You go first.
Okay, so I've thought about this because half of my friends did not receive the scholarships. So when they fail the scholarship, there is always chance for them to apply for a scholarship because most of the universities, especially private universities, have their own scholarships. For example, Uniten have Uniten Tazu, Tabung Zakat Uniten, and also Petronas have their own Tazu. So they can always apply for the university's scholarships with their results.
Do you know if have any advice to share?
Yeah, because I actually applied for a few scholarship, and out of all the requirements, one application. And how I recover from that is that you have to keep on replying. They will actually like cover up your emotions, and even if you do not manage to get any, it's okay. You can always try later on with polishing and enhancing your skills first, so that you can actually shine for your application. So yeah.
Yeah, so just don't give up and keep trying. Another question is there all scholarship are allowed to apply PTPTN for local university? Maybe Nor if I go first.
Does it mean like having a scholarship and also have PTPTN, or I mean
Yeah,
like if like that,
if
if
you
like
take
that,
the Great Eastern,
mhm.
can you take PTPTN at the same time?
No, actually no, because basically you have to only have one. You either want to apply for PTPTN, or you want to have the scholarship. So like either one.
I see. How about for IJM?
For the IJM, if I'm not mistaken, they said before that they don't mind if you get any financial aid from anybody, uh, as long as you put them, they are open as
Oh,
far as
okay.
concerned lah. Before this, they told me that. Let's
And
say if
for
from you are from
uh,
private university and you get the financial aid from your university, you can get it, and you also can get the IJM allowance lah, scholarship. They don't mind. Just you can tell them lah.
I see. What about for YTP?
It is also the same as Norifa, and it is not possible because it's like you have two different financial aids. So it's written in the contract that having an external financial aid is not possible.
Okay. Another question. So far, I get a full scholar from my uni. Can I still apply for it, or I need to waive my university scholar? So, as mentioned, for IJM and YTP, they cannot receive additional financial aid, but um uh for Great Eastern and YTP, you cannot receive additional financial aid, but for IJM, it's all right, right?
Yeah, correct. But also you have to look at the university agreement lah. That says the university said that you cannot receive any financial aid from any organization, then supposedly you cannot lah. Even though uh, even though the IJM don't mind, but to be fair to all people, you have to look both agreement. I mean, don't be so greedy lah. If you think that
Okay.
that is enough for you, then I think you can give it to the other people. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's the last question. What result should a STPM student use to apply for a scholarship? Because STPM student didn't get the result yet. Can they use the trial result or what? Um, could Nor Ifa share with us first?
For this one, I'm not sure, so I don't to actually like confuse people, so I prefer not to actually answer this one. Sorry.
Okay, understand. What about IJM?
Actually, I'm not really that sure, but during my time, I think I used my last semester results, and then after a period of time, they still asking for the latest one, the overall GPA for my foundation. You still I can apply first after you succeed the applying scholarship. then you have to send them the overall the CGPA for your foundation. Let's say for the SPM, it's CGPA for your STPM.
All right. And what about for YTP?
You can you can measure your CGPA and compare it with the minimum requirements. For the trial results, I think it depends on the time of application. If normally, if the scholarship open before the time that your result released, that means you can use your trial results to apply. But if it open after the results release, it means that they want the actual results.
All right. I think that marks the end of the Q&A session. Thank you all the speakers for sharing, and thank you participants for joining. So this one will a reminder we are having a committee recruitment with Tutors in Action. So we have opened three new departments, and also these positions are open for application. So anybody who are interested, tomorrow is our last day to apply. So if you're interested, do scan the QR code here to apply for it, to join our family. Yeah. And reaching the end of the session, we would like to invite all of you to take a group photo with us. So if you're not shy, please open your camera, all the speakers, participants, and also committees. Okay, all ready? We'll take picture in 3, 2, 1. Smile. Another one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think that's the end for now. Thank you so much for everybody, and we'll have another session in 2 p.m. later, so do join us as well. Thank you so much.
Hello, speakers. Can you leave for a while just to take a picture for speakers?
Nice.